Oscar and the Frog, a book about growing by Jeff Waring. Oscar and the Frog. By Jeff Waring. One spring day by the pond, Oscar saw some creatures he had not seen before. Frog hopped up. "They're tadpoles," Frog said. "I was a tadpole before I grew up." And Oscar stared at Frog. He didn't look like a tadpole at all. "Don't be silly, Frog," Oscar said, laughing. "It's true," Frog said, and he told Oscar how frogs grow. "At first, I looked like a dot in an egg. The egg was as soft as jelly. I grew in the egg, then hatched out as a wriggly tadpole. I could breathe underwater through gills like a fish. I was hungry for pondweed. It helped me to grow. Later, my gills disappeared as I grew lungs to breathe air with. I grew back legs, then front legs, and my tail started to shrink. After 3 months, I was a little frog. I kicked my new legs and jumped out of the water to live on the bank." "What else hatches out of eggs?" Oscar asked. They looked in the pond. Frog showed Oscar some eggs that had been laid underwater. Many water snails lay their eggs in pouches of jelly on stones or plants. Dragonflies often lay their eggs on a plant stem just below the water. Fish lay lots of eggs. The perch winds hers in long threads and around plants, twigs, or stones. They looked on the bank, and Frog showed Oscar some eggs that had been laid where it's dry. Many kinds of butterflies lay their eggs on the undersides of leaves. When the caterpillars hatch out of the eggs, they eat the leaves. Many birds lay their eggs in nests high off the ground. Here, the chicks will be safe from animals who might want to eat them when they hatch. Ducks often nest on the ground close to water so their ducklings will be able to swim quickly away from danger. "Do plants hatch out of eggs?" Oscar asked. "No," said Frog. "Most plants sprout from seeds. Each plant makes its own kind of seed. The seeds of apple trees are stored inside their fruit. Strawberry plants have small seeds on the outsides of their fruit. Poppy plants have tiny seeds. They are light enough to be carried by the wind. Coconuts are the seeds of coconut palm trees. They are huge and can float. Most seeds ripen above the ground, but the seeds of the peanut plant grow in the earth." "Did I hatch out of an egg, or did I sprout from a seed?" Oscar asked. "Neither," said Frog. "You were born. You looked a lot like you do now, only much smaller, with fur and paws, ears, and a tail. You were hungry for milk from your mother." "Why was I hungry for milk?" Oscar asked. "It helped you to grow," said Frog. "Milk for you, pondweed for me, leaves for these caterpillars, and bugs for those baby birds. We all need different food to grow." Oscar stretched. "I am so big now," he told Frog. "But you're not as big as you will be," said Frog. "Are you?" asked Oscar. "Yes," Frog answered. "I've stopped growing now. I'm as big as I'm going to get." "How long does it take to grow up?" Oscar asked. "It depends," said Frog. "This flower will be full grown in a few days, but this young tree won't be tall until you are a very old cat." "The baby birds will be as big as their parents next spring," Frog went on, "but the tadpoles will take 3 springs or more to be as big as I am. Each living thing takes its own time." Just then, Oscar saw that his mother was coming. "What about me?" he asked Frog. "How long will I stay a kitten?" "You will be a full-grown cat by winter," Frog said, "as big as your mother is now." Oscar looked at his mother. She was much bigger than he was. "Don't be silly, Frog," he said, laughing. "It's true," Frog said. "Wait and see." Thinking about growing. By the pond, Oscar found out about these things: beginnings, Living things begin in different ways. Some hatch out of eggs, some sprout from seeds, and some are born. How did you begin? On your next walk, look for living things that hatch, sprout, or are born. Food. All living things have to eat to grow. They need different kinds of food. Pondweed, leaves, bugs. What helped you to grow when you were very young? What did you eat that helps you grow now? Getting bigger. Living things grow at different speeds. A few days, a few months, a few years, many years. How long will it take you to grow as big as your mother or father? Oscar thinks growing is great. Do you think so too?